Welcome to this demonstration of the kalmstrom.com sharing options. I'm Peter Kalmstrom at kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. The demonstration is intended for the admin, but I will also explain how the subsequent users should do to get the same sharing option. When you get this dialog in one of our products, you'll have three alternatives for sharing and storing data. The dialog you see in your product may have a different logo and product name, but the principle is the same. Here I'll go through the three options and explain how the admin or first user can select sharing option. All three alternatives give automatic synchronization every 5 minutes with all PCs using the same database or SharePoint site. It is especially suitable if your team is geographically dispersed, as you can synchronize the data via the internet. The kalmstrom.com product supports SharePoint 2010 and above, including Office 365 SharePoint. But if you select this option, you need to have your own SharePoint site in-house or hosted. The admin needs to have design permissions or full control over the SharePoint site. As you see here, you'll have to enter the path to the SharePoint site and your username and password. And you might also need to give a domain name. Then click OK. Now our product will create SharePoint lists on the site that you have logged into, where the shared data will be stored. If such lists already exist on the site, our product will use them instead of creating new ones. When another user of the same product logs into the same SharePoint site, the product will automatically load all data in the existing lists on the local PC. Subsequent users need to have write permissions on the SharePoint lists. Next alternative is a Microsoft Access database. When you select this option, you may either use an existing Access database or let our product create a new one for you. In both cases, you must give the path or browse to the shared network folder where the database exists or is to be created. All users must have write permissions over the network folder where the Access database is placed. Subsequent users will have to check the existing database option and give the path or browse to the network folder where the Access database is placed. Then the data in the database will be loaded to the local PC. The Access database is a suitable alternative for smaller businesses or few users, but Access is not a good choice if you expect the database to grow big. Access support only 2 GB and start creating troubles before that. In that case, we suggest either the SharePoint option or the third alternative, an MS SQL Server Database. The SQL Server Database option requires that you have your in-house or hosted SQL server. You may either let our product configure an existing SQL Server Database or use the .sql file provided with the application to create a new one. You need to be the owner of the SQL Server Database for this to work. When you have given the path to the server, entered the database name and logged in, the application will create the database tables needed on the SQL server. Subsequent users must have write permissions on the SQL Server Database. When they connect to the same database, the settings will be loaded to their local PCs. For all three options, the settings dialog will be shown when the lists or database tables have been successfully created. The admin will of course define the necessary settings, while subsequent users just have to click OK to the settings dialog. Thank you for watching this demonstration.